God calls. Abraham, originally called Abram, lived in Ur of the Chaldeans with his family. God called him to leave his home and go to a land he would show him, Genesis 12:1. God promised, "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. All peoples on earth will be blessed through you." Abraham obeyed God without hesitation, taking his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot and leaving everything familiar. Lesson: faith means trusting God even when you don't know what lies ahead. 2. Abraham and God's promise. God promised Abraham many descendants, even though he and Sarah were very old and had no children. Abraham believed God's promise, even when it seemed impossible. Genesis 15:4-6. God made a covenant with Abraham, symbolized by cutting animals and promising the land of Canaan to his descendants. Lesson: trusting God's word, even when it seems impossible, is the foundation of faith. 3. Abraham and Lot's herds grew so large that they had to separate to avoid conflict. Genesis 13:5-9. Abraham generously let Lot choose first, showing his humility and trust in God's provision. Lot chose the fertile plains near Sodom, while Abraham settled in the land God had promised. Lesson: faith trusts God's provision and doesn't compete for worldly advantages. 4. God's covenant, a son. Promised God told Abraham he would have a son with Sarah even though they were old. Genesis 17. Abraham laughed, but God reassured him, "Sarah will have a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant through him." Abraham and Sarah waited patiently, trusting God's timing. Lesson: God's timing may seem slow, but his promises are always true. 5. Abraham's test. Isaac. God tested Abraham's faith by asking him to sacrifice his son Isaac on Mount Moriah. Genesis 22:1-2. Abraham obeyed without hesitation, trusting God completely. As he was about to sacrifice Isaac, God stopped him and provided a ram as a substitute. This act demonstrated Abraham's total faith and willingness to obey God, no matter the cost. Lesson: faith may require obedience, even in difficult situations, and God provides a way when we trust him. 6. Abraham's legacy. Abraham's faith pleased God, and he is called the father of many nations. Genesis 17:5. Through Abraham's descendants came Isaac, Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, and ultimately Jesus Christ. God blessed Abraham for his faithfulness, and his story is a model of trust in God. Lesson: faith and trust in God lead to blessings beyond understanding. Obedience and trust in God's promises are always rewarded. Lessons from Abraham's faith is trusting God, even when circumstances seem impossible. Obedience, even when difficult, honors God. God's promises are true and will come to pass in his timing. Generosity and humility reflect faith in God's provision. Abraham's life teaches us that trusting God leads to blessings not just for us, but for generations to come.